and wildfires. The president arriving in Los Angeles, greeted by Governor Gavin Newsom, both shook hands, but the president has been critical of the state's response to the fires and water crisis.
I appreciate the governor coming out and meeting me, Kevin. Thank you very much, and we'll be talking a little bit. We want to get it fixed. We want to get the problem fixed.
Newsom says the state welcomes the president's visit and will need federal aid. The president signaling earlier he is considering getting rid of FEMA and give funds directly to states to handle. The Trump administration's new Justice Department leadership announced today it's curbing prosecutions against people accused of blocking reproductive rights facilities. In a few hours, senators will convene to take up a confirmation vote for Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth. This is ABC News.
I'm Lisa Hale with WGBW News. Your news in depth. Find it in the news section at WGBW.FM. For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. The Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction has announced it is pausing hiring and out-of-state travel amid budget constraints. In a memo sent to staff Friday, the agency announced it would freeze hiring for all jobs except 2 critical positions through the end of June. They also announced a pause on out-of-state travel and that it would consider voluntary reductions in paid working hours if requested by individual employees. Officials cited a $2.3 million reduction in state funding as a major factor in the decision to reduce spending. Republican lawmakers are introducing legislation that would reverse new Department of Public Instruction state testing benchmarks. Those changes announced last fall included lowering the threshold for what's considered proficient and changing terms used to describe student performance. DPI started using meeting expectations rather than calling students proficient, while dropping the use of basic and below basic. State Superintendent Jill Underly has said that the new standards illustrate what students should know at a given grade level. The Republican bill would reset report card standards to the level set in 2019 and 2020. It would align grades 3 through 8 with national standards and restore high school testing standards to levels set in 2021 and 2022 school year. It would also require DPI to use the terms below basic, basic, proficient, and advanced for pupil performance assessments. From local news to what's going on around the state, Civic Media's mission is to bring you real news and great conversation. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
The Bucks trounced the Heat. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Bucks beat the Miami Heat 125-96 at Fiserv Forum. The win despite some challenges getting back to Milwaukee from New Orleans, where the Bucks were stuck in a hotel during a record-breaking snowstorm. The start time to last night's game had to be pushed back an hour. Bucks head coach Doc Rivers.
Showing up for a game 2 hours before the game off an airplane, my guess is that our science team would probably say not the healthiest thing to do. On the plane, we showed the guys their matchups. I told them to be prepared.
NFL, the Buffalo Bills face the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC title game Sunday at 5:30 from Arrowhead. Do the referees give the Chiefs a break when calling penalties?
I don't feel that way. I mean, I just try to play football at the end of the day. The referees are doing their best to call the game as fair and as proper as they possibly can, and all you can do is go out there and play the game that you love as hard as you can and live with the results, and so that's what we preach here in Kansas City.
That's Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly cloudy, a few flurries tonight and lows in the mid-teens. A mix of sun and clouds and blustery tomorrow, highs in the low 30s. Mid-20s and mostly sunny Sunday. A January thaw into next week, highs climbing well into the 30s. Currently it's 17 degrees.
The Todd Alba Show.
What's worse, fast drivers or slow drivers? Karina listening on WAUK in Milwaukee.
Slow drivers are the worst. They think too slow. They stop in the middle of the highway to think about where they're going. Maybe they need to turn left and right. They changing lines for, oh my God, I can do all day long.
Karina, can you tell us what you really think?
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. Mino and the Mayor.
We're very pleased to have Nathan Olson here, Olson Legal Group, also the sponsor of Veteran Salute.
Welcome. I want to start out with that whole thank you for your service, because we really mean that. And you hear that. I appreciate that. And it's really sincere. And some people say, well, it gets a little bit overused. What else are you going to say?
I really don't know what to say when people say that, too. Right. Because there is a selfless service aspect to it, but
you appreciate it.
Yeah, you very much.
Mino and the Mayor, weekday morning 6 till 9 on WGBW and WISS and the Civic Media app.
Ooh, let's unplug from the politics and rock some local tunes on Max Inc. This week, we welcome Or Does It Explode and Chicago Blues Hall of Famer Paul Flipowitz. It's Max Inc. Saturday and Sunday, 6 p.m. across the city.
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who likes to talk trash, but only when he's at the dump, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome to Nite Lite, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday night. We are almost done with January. How does that feel? I feel great. I feel like the days are getting a little bit longer. 30 seconds a day, Conrad. That's what we get. 30 seconds more of daylight per day.
I appreciate it more every day.
I do too. And I don't notice it. So after a couple weeks, all of a sudden you're looking at what? 7 extra minutes? Doesn't sound like a lot, but it helps a little bit. Yeah. Hey, great to have you here at Nite Lite on a Friday night. We have a really fun show tonight. This is one of those days, this is a job, but I really do love it. I love getting on the air, talking about the things we talk about on a nightly basis here. Today was one of those days I could not wait to get on the air and just start yakking. We have so much fun lined up tonight. It's Friday night fun. So it's that kind of fun. It's music, it's comedy, it's a bar band Friday night, ladies and gentlemen. That's another reason I'm very excited. Terry Barr from Max Inc. Radio will be here bringing us new music, as she so often does, just about on every Friday. She'll be here at 7:35 with some great tunes. Did you listen to the music, Conrad?
I did, and it's
good stuff.
It's some fun music.
It really is. She's batting 1,000, I have to say. Terry will be here. We've got comedy with a friend of mine, Jackie Flynn, will be here at 7:05. He's playing in Kenosha this weekend at the Kenosha Comedy Club. It's so funny, I can't say the word Kenosha without thinking of the Kenosha Kickers from Home Alone and John Candy. But Jackie will be there at the Kenosha Comedy Club. We'll talk to him about the shows at 7:05. Jackie's also a very talented actor. He's been on the show. He's a regular on the show Loudermilk, which is very funny. And he's been in movies like The Three Stooges, Ricky Stenicki, Kingpin. Just a really, really talented and a really funny dude. He'll be here at 7:05. We'll talk to Jackie and our friend. This was exciting, Conrad. I saw, we typically have our first guest tonight in the studio with the Piat family, Chris and Paul, and they play guitar and sing, and they're just fantastic. And they usually come on seasonally, like towards the end of the year. We'll have them on a couple times, like November, December, to promote Doctors in Recital, a really great outfit that is doing a show tomorrow night. It's their yearly show. It's for a good cause. It's people in the medical industry that sing songs and sing together and solos, all different kinds of music. It's such a fun, it's just a bash. And Kim runs the whole thing, Kim Shefchik. So, and she's also an incredibly talented singer. So we will have Kim on at 6:35 to make one final push, because I really think this is just such a great event. We'll have Kim here to tell us about it. And then if you're interested in seeing some live music tomorrow night on what is supposed to be, I think, still pretty cold. There's nothing like going to see live music during the winter when you're inside and warm. And Doctors in Recital puts on a great show. Kim will Kim will be here at 6:35 to talk to us a little bit about that. And we have 2 songs that Kim has performed in previous shows that are just excellent. And when she usually comes in, Conrad, she just sings. But in one of these clips, she's playing the piano too. I didn't even know she played the piano.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It seems to impress me more than it impresses you, but I think it's really cool. Yeah. How you doing tonight, buddy? You doing okay?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's a little chilly out there tonight.
But not as is it as bad as it's been though? I think it
still feels
a little better, right?
10 degrees is still 10 degrees.
Yeah. You do live in Wisconsin, right? In Green Bay.
I do? Wow.
Yeah. It wasn't your fault though. Your parents moved here. That's how we all get stuck in cold weather areas. Then we grow up and we love it and it's harder to leave. Ladies and gentlemen, we are lighting the night tonight, and helping us do it is Appleton Cigar on College Avenue in Appleton. What better way to help? Who better to help us light the night than a cigar company? They are a great little operation. They've been serving the community for over 25 years. If you are a cigar aficionado and looking for a one-of-a-kind experience, you need to check out Appleton Cigar. They boast the largest selection of cigars north of Milwaukee. They have over 700 kinds of cigars to choose from. And they have a walk-in humidor. You go in there, you can get a cocktail. They'll help you pair the right cocktail with the right cigar. It's just a great experience. I've been in a cigar shop about 5 times in my life, and it's just such a unique experience. It's just a great conversation. And the more I went, I noticed women going to them too, which is kind of fun. Because the first couple of times I went, it was just dudes, and they were old, stodgy dudes. Now I think it's a much better atmosphere. Although I'm sure those old stodgy dudes are still there too, but they will help you. And if you're an aficionado or if it's your first time going to Appleton Cigar, they'll get you all set up and you can have that cigar experience. And they will set you up with a premium cigar and give you the full experience. Appleton Cigar is located at 415 College Avenue, and they're open Monday through Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. For more information, go to appletoncigar.com. We should head in there one day, Conrad, and just kind of hang out.
I actually might go there tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the occasion?
Well, I'm taking care of my brother's cats.
And they smoke cigars?
Yeah,
they should.
So one is named Jelly Bean. Maybe I'll get the Jelly Bean cigar for Jelly Bean.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, I'm meeting up with one of my friends who lives in Appleton. We're going to the Timber Tap Brewery, which is a great brewery. If you're in Appleton, check it out.
Okay.
And after that, might go check out the Appleton Cigar Company. So,
dude, you got to take a picture if you get in there. Take a picture with
definitely.
Norm or whoever's in there, and we'll post it. I think that would be really cool. I would expect a full report on the Appleton Cigar Company. It sounds great. So that's that. Hey, if you're watching tonight, folks, on the stream, I welcome you because I think it's so great. The more I thought about this today, it's so great that people can watch the radio. We're on YouTube. What else, Conrad? Facebook, Twitter.
And Twitter, yep.
X, whatever it's called. And it's great to have you either way. It's great to have you on the old-fashioned radio or on the app, which is very easy to use too. Give us a like or a follow if you're there. We always like to get likes and follows. And I have to bring up something that I learned about today. I didn't know it existed. It is a centuries-old Scottish tradition called Herkel Dirkling. Now, I know you know what it means now, Conrad, but what would you think that means?
I would think it's like some type of like fruit or something. I don't know.
See, I would have thought like wrestling or something. Like,
okay, yeah.
You want to Herkel Dirkle? Come on, man, I'll take you. And then guys roll around or whatever. But apparently, it just means being lazy. It is the art of laying in bed past the time you're supposed to get up. That's called Herkel Dirkling. And the Scottish have been doing this for a couple centuries. Do we have the clip of the woman explaining it?
Yes, we do.
Let's play that so people get a better sense.
Expression of the day from the Scots Dictionary is Herkel Dirkling. And to Herkel Dirkle, a couple of centuries old, is to stay in bed long after it's time to get up. I'm a Herkel Dirkler.
I mean, it's like, so foreign people just make things sound so much more acceptable. Like in America, it's get your lazy ass out of bed. Herkel Dirkling is just staying in bed. And they stay as long as they want. Sometimes they have coffee. I I don't know. I always thought if you stayed in bed too long, it meant you were depressed or just lazy. But Herkel-Dirkling is like a form of therapy. Apparently, sometimes we need to lay in bed without the pressure of having to get up. So there you go, Herkel-Dirkling. And ladies and gentlemen, Herkel-Dirkling is sort of the genesis of our question of the night.
Let's talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question.
Pregunta.
Question.
Question.
Hey, I have a question. Questions? This question.
Domanda.
Question. Questions.
Have you ever Herkel-Dirkled? And for how long? What's the latest you've stayed in bed? What is acceptable? There's actually a few questions, but we want people's thoughts on this. Let us know what you think. Do you Herkel-Dirkle? I do. I get up, and sometimes I'll lay there for an hour. I'll look at my phone. I'll look at an article I didn't finish. Since I've been doing this show, it's taken me longer to get out of bed in the morning because I used to be kind of a morning person. I love getting up early before other people and getting stuff done. Since I've been doing Nite Lite, I'm a little more, I stay up later. So I have been laying in bed more. But eventually it gets to you. But have you ever Herkel-Dirkled, and for how long? What is the latest you've stayed in bed? And what do you think is acceptable? That is our question of the night. It's 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. There are no right or wrong answers, ladies and gentlemen. There are only your answers. So let us know. We'd love to hear from you. What about you, Con? What do you do? Are you
I'd say I Herkel-Dirkled every Sunday afternoon in college.
I mean, I work at 6 o'clock at night. Herkel-Dirkling is pretty much weekdays for me. I mean, I don't stay in bed till noon or anything, but it's not that. It's just weird that they have a name for it, I think.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Nowadays, I try to get out of bed before at least 9, so I can start my day, because I feel like it's a waste of a day if you just, past 10:30. I feel like you're still in bed after that. It's kind of but
because you're up late too.
Yeah, sometimes I am. Yeah.
So let us know, folks. We'd love to hear your answers. We will read them on the radio. Flight Risk is out this weekend. There's lots to see. There are Oscar-nominated films, folks, in the theaters, on the stream. You have 6 weeks to watch Oscar-nominated Best Picture films. I say get to work. That's what I'll be doing over the next 6 weeks. I've seen like 3 of them. I've got like 7 to go. And on that note, Flight Risk is out, the new Mark Wahlberg movie. I don't ever need to see a Mark Wahlberg movie again. I know we've talked about that, and I'm not picking on the guy. He's had an incredible amount of success. But I've seen this movie before, like 80 times. And I don't see myself, even if Flight Risk was like considered fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm probably not going to see Flight Risk under any circumstance. 19% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that you go by everything Rotten Tomatoes says, but that's something, and it's not reviewing well. And Mark Wahlberg is bald in the movie.
He actually, it's not like a cap or anything. He actually went bald.
What does that mean, went bald? He shaved his head?
Yeah, he actually shaved it. He didn't put like one of those bald caps on.
So what? Grows back. That's not a leap. A leap is like De Niro adding 60 or 70 pounds. I know Mark Wahlberg would never do that. All right, we'll be right back to break this down, talk about some more Oscar films, and we've got a very funny clip of one of our guests, Jackie Flynn. This is Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Here she comes now, and it comes as no surprise to me, with another guy. Here comes my baby, here she comes now, walking with a love that's so fine, never to be mine, no matter how I try.
This is the talk of Green Bay, WGBW.
Hey, it's Amanda with a new Wisco 411 for you. And if you've been craving some good barbecue, man, have we got the event for you. The Fox Valley Barbecue Club's annual Rib Cook-Off is Saturday, January 25th at Stone Yard, Greenville. The first set of racks are being pulled from the smokers at 11 a.m., and the event goes until all 150 racks are sold, with proceeds going to the Old Glory Honor Flight. So wipe that drool from your face and go to WGBW.FM, click events, and learn more.
You're listening to the American Democracy Minute, keeping your government by and for the people. We have updates on important state Supreme Court cases involving the outcome of a November 2024 North Carolina Supreme Court election and whether Pennsylvania can count mail ballots with missing dates. First to North Carolina, where after 2 recounts, a race for Supreme Court justice is separated by 734 votes, with 5.5 million ballots cast. Supreme Court Justice Allison Riggs was declared the winner over Appeals Court Judge Jefferson Griffin, but Griffin refused to concede and appealed to invalidate as many as 60,000 voters. Griffin's challenge includes voters with felony convictions, despite North Carolina's returning citizen rights restoration. He and the North Carolina GOP also challenge voters with incomplete registration information, some of whom are even elected officials and have voted for years. Wednesday, the Carolina Journal reported that the North Carolina Supreme Court refused to hear the case in a 5-1 decision, sending it back to Wake County Superior Court to consider Judge Griffin's complaints. Back in October, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court refused to rule on whether on-time mail-in ballots missing a signing date could be counted. Of the 2 challenges filed, the ACLU's argument that rejecting the ballots is a violation of the state constitution's free and equal elections clause will be considered.
I get so lost sometimes.
Jackie Flynn will be here at 7:05 tonight. He's a very funny comedian playing the Kenosha Comedy Club this week in Southeast Wisconsin. Check that out. We have a little bit of a clip of just about a minute long of Jackie's stand-up that I just think is great. So let's hear a little bit of Jackie before we bring him on at 7:05.
And who's the guy in the bathrooms in the nightclubs? You ever see these guys, the bathroom attendants? They work on tips. They get the cologne, the gum, and the candy, and the mints when you walk into the bathroom. They're like ambitious homeless guys, I think. They just showed up. Hey, this bathroom isn't taken. I think I'll set up my sundry shop right here. You got to tip them. They put pressure on you to tip them. You walk into the bathroom, what do? They turn the faucet on for you. Hey, thanks. I could have never done that on my own. Would you like some paper towels? You got me again. My hands are soaking wet, you little mind reader. You got to tip him. He's got a basket of bills he puts on the counter for you to tip him. He strategically places the basket, right, guys? So you have to trip over the thing to get into the bathroom. He's got $10 of bills on top of the basket that you know and I know he put there himself. I mean, who's the guy giving $10? That was the best crap I ever took. Here's $10. You run a hell of a house, you know that? There's an extra 5. I like it down the place. You ever think of franchising? Because I don't see you running just one of these, Stinky. Can I call you Stinky?
Jackie is like just a great Boston comic. Love it. His jokes, he's like just called a banger, like joke. Great stuff. He'll be here at 7:05. Kim Shefchick will be here at 6:35 to talk about Doctors in Recital. Our question of the night is, what's the longest you've herkle-durkled? For those of you just joining us, herkle-durkling is a practice in Scotland that's been going on for a couple hundred years. It just means laying in bed, being lazy, kind of resetting. So that's our question tonight. Have you ever herkle-durkled, and for how long? What's the latest you've stayed in bed? What do you think is acceptable? Conrad and I have both confessed to herkle-durkling. I do a little bit of it every day. I kind of lay in bed, look at my phone, maybe even have a cup of coffee. Conrad said he was a big herkler-durkler in college. So there's no right or wrong answers, folks. There's only your answers. So, and then this is a bar band Friday night too. 7:35, Terry Barr will be here with new music. Such great stuff. So the Oscars, the nominees are out for Best Picture. We really didn't get to this last night, but I'm more than anything, I find it interesting because there are a lot of different films that have been nominated. I kind of like that they went to 10 movies. It gives us more to watch as we lead up to the Oscars. But here are the 10 nominees for Best Picture. Emilia Perez, it's a musical about a drug cartel dealer who has gender-affirming issues. Very interested to see that film. A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan biopic. Conclave, the film where they vote on the new pope at the Vatican. Great cast, too, by the way, in that one. Ray Fiennes, Stanley Tucci. I'm blanking on John Lithgow is also in it. They play cardinals. But I enjoyed Conclave a lot. Nickel Boys, have not seen it yet, but it's an indie film. Two teenage boys dealing with racial issues in Florida. I'm Still Here. I don't know anything about I'm Still Here, but also an indie. The Substance, I believe, is also considered an indie film, and it's a horror starring Demi Moore. My daughter saw it, and she just said it was really scary. So I'm going to see that. Demi Moore is sort of making a comeback. Dune Part 2. They even have a blockbuster in there. You don't often see, it's not that rare, but I want to say Dune is probably the only blockbuster nominated this year. Although we'll see how the Bob Dylan pick does, A Complete Unknown. But Dune 2, Wicked. Now that's a blockbuster. Conrad only made it halfway through. He was not a huge fan.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. Have you seen any of these other ones, Conrad?
I haven't, but I know Conclave is on Peacock, so I'm going to check that one out probably this weekend and see how I like it.
That's pretty good. Honora, another indie, Sean Baker film, and The Brutalist, which stars Adrian Brody and Felicity Jones and is very long. They have an intermission built into the theater-going experience, even at the multiplex level. So I've heard it's very good. These are all. So what is that? I've seen one. I've seen Conclave, Dune 2, and that's it. I got some homework to do. So the nominations are out. We'll be talking about them as we get closer to the Oscars. We'll talk about some more categories too, actors and actresses, and of course directors. So listen, I got a sandwich today, Conrad. Do you eat out a lot? What's your day like when it comes to eating out? Do you cook at home?
I really try to eat the stuff that I got at home, but sometimes it's just so easy to just get a sandwich. Because
Go ahead.
Right by us is the Hagmeister, and they got some pretty good food too.
They have good food.
It's just easy to go there, but I tried just to eat at home.
It's tough. I oftentimes, more often than I'd like, I just pop out to get something. I went to one of my favorite sandwich shops today. I like everybody there. But what is it when you say just a little bit? Like, do you want mayo? Just a little bit. They slather it. They empty the bottle. They drown it. Did you hear what I said? I said I want a little bit. And I don't know if people aren't paying attention or what. But then I get my sandwich home. I got to scrape the mayo off because it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Same thing with Jimmy John's. You want cheese on that? Nope. I get my sandwich. There's cheese on it. What'd you ask for?
Yeah, I mean, I know first when I get sandwiches, I ask for just a little bit of pickles. I don't like pickles in every bite, but I enjoy some pickles as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I usually have a bite of pickle every bite when I ask for that.
That's a tough ask, though. I'd like a pickle every third bite.
Well,
I'm kind of on the sandwich shops.
4 of them or something. You know, not the whole sandwich length.
I'd like a pickle and a third in every bite I take of this delicious sandwich.
I'm going to do that from now.
I think all they hear is pickles, Conrad, done. And they don't really comprehend what you're saying. And again, they're busy. And I know making sandwiches isn't rocket science. And I'm not trying to look down on anybody. But I think they make so many sandwiches, they just hear mayo, pickle, bam. I have one more beef. A nickel. You get 3 minutes for a nickel in Green Bay at the parking meter. Have we talked about that?
Yeah. I think you get 7 for a dime.
7? No, you get 6 minutes for a dime. They're consistent. Then you get 15 minutes for a quarter. In a city like, I feel like I'm in Manhattan when I pay those prices. We'll get to the bottom of this. Hey, Kim Shevchik is coming up next, and we're going to talk doctors and recital. This is Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
It's happened to me, and I'm telling you, it's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love. It's too late to turn back now. I believe I'm falling in love.
On to Alloway. This is 97.9 WGBW. Enjoying this local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. A 65-year-old man was killed as he tried to cross a street in Berlin Thursday afternoon. Berlin police say they believe that the man was already in the crosswalk when a 20-year-old male in a pickup truck turned onto Huron Street and struck the pedestrian. The pedestrian was taken to a local hospital where he was pronounced deceased. Berlin police are still investigating, but they say neither alcohol nor drugs are believed to be a factor in the accident. Law enforcement says there's a potential link between a Nashville shooting this week and the one in Madison earlier this month. 17-year-old Solomon Henderson was the shooter in Nashville this week. His social media account, according to ABC News, was reportedly followed by Natalie Rupnow, the Abundant Life Christian school shooter. Henderson, who allegedly killed a female student before taking his own life in a Nashville high school cafeteria, may also have interacted with Rupnow on social media prior to her attack in Madison last month. Amtrak's Borealis service is set to receive a boost from the feds. Stuart J. Waddles reports.
It's almost $39 million coming from the Department of Transportation, aimed at enhancing commuter rail options between Chicago and Minneapolis. The federal grant will support the popular route that began operations last May. There are stops in several Wisconsin communities, including Milwaukee, the Dells, and La Crosse. The service has already attracted over 100,000 riders since it started. A statement supporting the project from Senator Tammy Baldwin says the investment will provide more travel options for Wisconsinites, support local economies, and improve transportation efficiency.
I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. Oscar nominations came out yesterday. 10 movies were nominated for Best Picture. But in the Best Supporting Actor category, there were 5 nominees, including Yuri Borisov for Anora, Edward Norton for his role opposite Timothy Chalamet in the Bob Dylan biopic A Complete Unknown. Guy Pearce was nominated for his role in The Brutalist. Kieran Culkin for the comedy drama A Real Pain. And his Succession co-star Jeremy Strong drew a nomination for his part in The Apprentice. A Complete Unknown, The Brutalist, and Anora all drew Best Picture nominations as well. In the Best Supporting Actress category, it was more good news for A Complete Unknown as Monica Barbaro was nominated, to no one's surprise. Ariana Grande got a nod for her role in the blockbuster Wicked. Felicity Jones for The Brutalist. Isabella Rossellini is up for her role in Conclave. And after showing her musical side, the Academy recognized Zoe Saldana for her role in Emilia Perez. Every film these actresses were in was also nominated for Best Picture. Nice job, girls. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nite Lite with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This is your local Civic Media radio station. Want to hear even more? Anytime? Find all of it at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly cloudy, a few flurries tonight and lows in the mid-teens. A mix of sun and clouds and blustery tomorrow, highs in the low 30s. Mid-20s and mostly sunny Sunday. A January thaw into next week, highs climbing well into the 30s.
Currently, we're at 15.
The Maggie Dawn Show.
Pete Hegseth, confirmation hearing.
I've never disparaged women serving in the military.
Except for, the podcast interview in late November of 2024 when he said women in combat weaken the military. Except for that, Pete, did you get body snatched? Are you not the same guy that sat down in the Brosphere podcast?
The Maggie Dawn Show. Weekdays from 2 till 4 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app. The Todd Alba Show.
What's worse, fast drivers or slow drivers? Karina listening on WAUK in Milwaukee.
Slow drivers are the worst. They think too slow. They stop in the middle of the highway to think about where they're going. Maybe they need to turn left and right. They changing lines for oh my God, I can do all day long.
Karina, can you tell us what you really think?
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
You've heard that laughter is good for you, so let's get our fill of it in the next New Wisco weekend.
Hi, this is Jenny Slate, and you are listening to Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba.
be some sweet sounds coming down on the night shift. I bet you're singing proud.
Welcome back. So our question tonight, it's kind of a mouthful. Have you ever Herkle-Durkled, and for how long? What's the latest you've stayed in bed? That's what Herkle-Durkling really is, folks. It comes from the Scottish, and it's a centuries-old practice that just is the art of laying in bed past the time you're supposed to be up. So, have you ever Herkle-Durkled, and for how long? What's the latest you've stayed in bed? What is acceptable? We should say alone, too, because that's really Herkle-Durkling. I mean, if you're like in bed with someone, there's all kinds of things you could be doing. I don't mean that necessarily just like, sexual. You could just be laying there reading, talking, whatever. So there's no right or wrong answer, but let us know. 414 Tom in New Berlin says, Pete, is the Herkle-Durkle from the Shire? I saw it on Yahoo News, Tom. So I don't know what the Shire is. I've heard of that, though. Carla from Baraboo. Aunt Carla says, actually, today, Aunt Carla and Uncle Jim Herkle-Durkled in Vegas after a long week of many adventures at the SHOT Show convention with no internet. You know what that is, Conrad?
Yeah.
What is the SHOT Show?
Well, Jim owns a gun shop.
Okay.
So it's I think it's a bunch of people who own their own shop.
Okay.
And, yeah, so.
And they get together and Herkle-Durkle, apparently. They had no internet. Carla says, we decided to stay close to our hotel, wake up late, and check out the old Vegas. That's fun to do, Carla. Great decision. She said, started to drink at 2 p.m. and walked to Fremont Street for a night of adventure. It sounds like there'll be Herkle-Durkling tomorrow as well. Yeah. Tom also from New Berlin says, he calls that binge rest. Oh, I like that. Well done, Tom. Thank you. Thank you for all your texts. Keep them coming. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to turn our attention to one of my someone who's become one of my favorite guests. She has a beautiful singing voice, and she is the organizer of Doctors in Recital. She also performs with them, and she's been in the studio several times and wowed us with her voice. And Doctors in Recital is tomorrow night, so we thought we would have Kim Shefchick on one more time to make a final push for Doctors in Recital. Kim, how are you?
Oh my gosh, I'm great. How are you?
Doing very well. Oh, I thought you were on the phone. I can see you, though. This is great. You're on the stream.
Yeah, I'm on the stream. I'm backstage. We got rehearsals underway. So
wow,
it's pretty awesome.
Look at that. And you're all dressed up and looking very glamorous.
Well, we do a full dress rehearsal. They take pictures for next year's promotion. So yes, I have makeup on. You're probably not used to seeing me like this.
Makeup only adds a little. It's your allure that is so enticing, I think. So, but it's good to see you. I can tell you're having fun, and it looks like just such a great event. Tell us, where can people find tickets, or where should they just go tomorrow night? Do you have open seats still?
Absolutely. Well, we've got the beautiful Widener space here. I'm sure many people have been in this amazing auditorium and just turning my camera around here. So we've got the lower level full and the middle tier is pretty full, but we've opened up the top deck for tomorrow night. So you can come on down to the Widener Center, get tickets starting at $25. You can go on our website, doctorsinrecital.com or .org. Both will get you there to get your tickets.
And it's for a great cause. Tell us where the proceeds go.
Yeah, we're pretty lucky that we've had some phenomenal partners this year. We have Foster the Village, which is a Brown County Foster Parent Support Network. And then we have the Ecumenical Partnership for Housing. And they help families who are facing homelessness get housing and work towards independent living with their families. And then we also have music education recipients. So we have the Griffin String Quartet, who do some really amazing things in our Northeast Wisconsin community with music education of all ages. And then also the Fort Howard Life and Drum Corps, which plays at Heritage Hill. So we're pretty lucky to have some phenomenal partners. And like I said, I'm here backstage right now. We have our it's a little Mendelssohn going on with some strings, but we earlier had some Broadway, we've got funk, we've got country, we've got classical. It's pretty awesome.
You just answered my next question was going to be, what kind of music can people expect to hear? Because I know you guys cover a lot of different stuff.
We even have original. We have original music. We have every year, one of our regular performers, he writes a song about one of our recipients, and I heard it earlier tonight. It's called "I Am Home," and it's very moving.
That's great. I would like to, if you're okay with this, give people a sample of what they can hear tomorrow night and the kind of music you create with your beautiful voice. So let's hear a little something. Kim is not with us in studio like she usually is, but she's giving. I feel like we have breaking news here or something, and you giving us an expose backstage. That's so cool that you're doing this.
Yeah.
But here is Kim performing at a recent concert of Doctors in Recital.
Awesome.
That's beautiful.
Okay, well, this is funny because for me it was like 5 minutes of silence, which is probably better than 5 minutes of listening to yourself. But I got fuzz in my mouth. I'm backstage, like I said, listening to this wonderful group of musicians playing Mendelssohn. And now you're probably listening to me screeching on something, and I have no idea what it is.
No, you shared 2 files with us for this. How Do I Get You Alone? Beautiful. And
Ooh,
I
I
should
like
add,
that one.
yeah, you're also playing the piano, which I didn't know you did. That blew me
Yeah.
away. Great job there. And then
thanks.
you're very welcome. And then Paul Piat sounded great on that too, playing the guitar and also singing with you. So very nice, very well done.
Yeah, that's still one of my favorites. We had a good time playing some classic rock with heart.
Yeah. You guys
Yeah.
are, so you put this whole thing together, right, Kim? This is kind of your baby. How much
Well,
work is that?
okay.
I mean, you have a full-time gig. How much? Yeah, go
I
ahead.
am the chair of the board and help kind of organize the chaos of the getting the sponsors, choosing our recipients, connecting all of our musicians. But I'm actually gonna I'll tell you I call her the fairy godmother. She won't really be able to hear you because I have my AirPods in, but this is my fairy godmother of Doctors in Recital. Her name's Lucinda Roberts. She's phenomenal.
Hello,
She's
Lucinda.
a music educator and lifelong phenomenal piano player. Works at East High School here in Green Bay, but she really started this baby back 19 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, all right, Kim, I'm going to ask you something. I've heard you now. You've been in the studio several times. You have such a great voice. You're such a good musician. You know, this is a once a year thing, unfortunately, but I know how much work it goes in. Do you ever play at other venues in Northeast Wisconsin throughout the year?
Well, I'm lucky that I get to play with my friends when they ask me. So I'll sometimes fill in for different things, and then at our church I play and sing. And I definitely have been involved in a few other nonprofits that do music. I think the one that is also near and dear to my heart is On Stage for Cancer. That we do a summer concert. I try to do something to keep me connected to the music. I know I've shared that, my love of music couldn't be brave enough like some of these amazing musicians to keep it as a career, but it's been fun to stay connected. And volunteering is a great way to do it.
Yeah, great point. What about the other musicians? You guys are all full-time medical people in the medical field. Do they find time to perform around Green Bay anywhere or Northeast Wisconsin?
Yeah, we actually, one of the guys in our show, he has a amazing band. They play regularly at a lot of different establishments in town. Crunch Time is the name of his band. Several of the people that are on stage right now, I'll turn my phone around again. They play with the Civic Symphony here in Green Bay.
Nice.
So we've got involvement in our local symphony, and then Dudley Birder Choir. A lot of our physicians sing in that too. So people stay connected to it. And music's a powerful draw, right? And a great outlet.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're going to hear one more song from Kim after a very short break. You're going to want to hear this because it's from Mamma Mia and she crushes it.
Oh
and
my gosh, this one's fun.
We are getting.
This one is.
I love that you're doing this. Conrad, we have to find a way to do this more often because I feel like we're getting a total sneak peek backstage. Well, we are.
Oh my God.
And this
The
is tomorrow
winery's
night.
So cool.
Yeah, this is tomorrow night. So if you're looking for something to do on a cold January night, I cannot think of a better thing to do than to go inside a warm theater and warm your heart with some phenomenal music.
Absolutely.
Kim Shefchik is my guest right now. She's backstage at the final dress rehearsal. This is exciting, and we're going to hear another great song from Kim when we come back, and we'll wrap up our time with her and let her get back to rehearsal. This is Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW.
Appleton Cigar Company on College Avenue has been serving the community for over 25 years. If you are a cigar aficionado looking for a one-of-a-kind experience, you need to check out Appleton Cigar, which boasts the largest selection of cigars north of Milwaukee with over 706 cigars to choose from in a walk-in humidor. The Cigar Lounge offers an impressive variety of spirits and cocktails that pair perfectly with a premium cigar. For the full experience, come to Appleton Cigar at 415 College Ave, Monday through Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. For more information, go to appletoncigar.com.
America is kept safe because the Army National Guard responds, protects, and supports our nation when it needs them most. The Army National Guard responds to disasters such as wildfires and floods. They protect us with missile defense, cybersecurity, and civilian support teams for chemical, biological, and radiological hazards. Be there for your community and your country. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Keeping you connected to your local community with good news and great conversation. Here's Terry Barr with the Civic Media Radio Network.
Landon Jones could make his type of art anywhere, but he chooses to stay in Northeast Wisconsin, where he's making a name for himself through his Green Bay company, Respect. He recently took a leap and created a commercial for Doritos.
It's called That's Bold. I was sitting on the couch, I was eating some Doritos, I just had one in my hand, I was looking at it. I just try and think of different scenarios playing out. You know, I'm just enjoying this whole process, even in this competition.
A competition leading Landon to the top 25 out of thousands. And a possibility his ad could air during the Super Bowl. His story supports make art where your heart is. And for him, that's home. Until next time, I'm...
Tom in New Berlin says, Pete is the Herkle-Durkle from the Shire. And then he says the Shire from Lord of the Rings. See, I am not versed in Lord of the Rings films. I apologize, Tom. So I guess that's a compliment, but I'm not sure. But thank you for the text, buddy. Always great. Kim Chef Chick is here. She is coming to us live from the Widener Center backstage at the final dress rehearsal. Oh, I'm getting some feedback. Final dress rehearsal for Doctors in Recital, which takes place tomorrow night at the Widener Center. Kim, we're going to hear another song you sang that I just love, and then I'm going to ask you a couple questions after that. Are you still good on time?
I'm still good. Can you still hear me okay?
We can hear you just fine, and this is
okay,
great.
Perfect.
So let's hear another one of Kim's performances from a recent event at Doctors in Recital. This is a great song, and it's Kim Shefchick belting it out. Just phenomenal, Kim. You probably couldn't hear that. Could you hear that? It was just you singing Mamma Mia. It was just great. And that is just a sample of what people can hear if they go see Doctors in Recital tomorrow night. It's going to be just
that was a
great
good, yeah, that was a good representation of our fun. You know, it's a little bit of fun. It's a little bit of something interesting for everybody. And then we don't take ourselves too seriously because you see me wearing some pink polyester. Pretty classic.
It's awesome. You're so much fun. Thank you so much. And crush it tomorrow night. And please take more video. We'll share it on the show. It's always fun to hear you sing. And it's fun just to catch up and talk too. So thanks so much.
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me. It was always fun.
Anytime. All right. That's Kim Shefchick. Check out Doctors in Recital tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, at the Widener Center. That's a great place to see. I saw the Bodines there twice. It's a great place to see a winter concert. Kind of off the beaten path, east of 43. You don't see much of that, Conrad, in the Green Bay area.
I do because I live close to it.
Okay. All right. That was Kim Shefchick. Thanks so much. Check it out, Doctors in Recital. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, Jackie Flynn will be here, comedian. We heard a little bit of his comedy earlier in the second segment, and Jackie's hilarious. We'll talk about his date this weekend at the Kenosha Comedy Club and some of his movie work. That is coming up next after the news. It's a Bar Band Friday night. Terry Barr is here at 7:35. This is Civic Media. I'm Pete Schwaba. Coming back.
I'm waiting just for you. Someone's living for love. Someone's living for love.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for the Maggie Dawn Show.
Dom Salvia.
Next time, our favorite Delano Democrat, Harvey Kaye, will discuss the fallout from tribal and U.S. citizens getting caught up in the immigration sweeps. Also, which cabinet picks are in and out. Tune in.
The Dom Salvia Show, weekdays 4 till 6.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us. This is 97.9 WGBW Denmark, Green Bay's real news and great conversation, a Civic Media radio station.
ABC News, I'm Richard Cantu. President Trump is in Los Angeles to survey wildfire devastation. Governor Gavin Newsom greeting the president.
We're going to get it fixed, so we'll get it permanently fixed. Thank you for being here. It means a great deal to all of us, not just the folks in Palisades, the folks in Altadena that were devastated. We're going to need your support. We're going to get it fixed, so we'll get it permanently fixed, so it can't happen again.
Earlier, the president surveyed Hurricane Helene damage in North Carolina. The North Dakota Supreme Court ruled that the state's abortion ban will not be enforced, while the state appeals a lower court's ruling that the ban is unconstitutional. North Dakota currently has 0 abortion providers, hasn't had one in over 2 years. Hamas announced it would release 4 female Israeli soldiers held hostage the last 15 months, part of an exchange for 200 Palestinian prisoners or detainees, including 120 militants serving life sentences after being convicted of deadly attacks. This is ABC News.
Hey, it's John Mino and Jim Schmidt from Mino and the Mayor. Want to stay in the loop with all things Northeast Wisconsin? Sign up for the WGBW weekly newsletter.
Get the latest local stories, updates on the weather, and a special feature from our Mino and the Mayor podcast.
It's your one-stop shop for real news and great conversation in Northeast Wisconsin.
Log on to WGBW.FM today and get signed up.
Real news, great conversation. Sign up today at WGBW.FM/newsletter.
Hi, I'm Michael Friedman, CEO of Simple Life Hospitality. Let us take the hassle out of vacation rental property management. We'll maximize your earnings and handle every detail from cleaning to maintenance and repairs. For guests, enjoy a stay that feels like home with hand-selected properties, personal touches like local recommendations, and extras like concierge service that will make your trip unforgettable. Whether you're a homeowner or a traveler, experience the Simple Life. Visit simpleliferentals.com.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. A new proposal with bipartisan support in the Wisconsin state legislature would make all gun safes exempt from state sales tax. Lawmakers say they're hoping the legislation will encourage more residents who own firearms to keep them stored securely in their homes, reducing the risk of accidental injury, or that children will be able to gain access to the firearms. Governor Tony Evers told reporters Thursday in Oshkosh that this is the type of legislation he can get behind.
We do it in a nanosecond. See, that's a good example. There are things there that aren't a threat to the Second Amendment. So let's do them.
This legislation comes as Governor Evers announces plans to include comprehensive gun safety measures in his biennial budget proposal that will be released in February. An argument turned deadly in Fond du Lac County Wednesday. Sheriff's officials say 2 adults, 59 and 31, and 2 teenagers, a 15-year-old female and a 14-year-old male, all from Detroit, Michigan, were traveling in their car on southbound I-41 near the town of Friendship. Authorities say the driver stopped in the median side of the...
The Bucks turned down the Heat. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Bucks beat the Miami Heat by nearly 30 points, 129-96. Miami suspending former Marquette star Jimmy Butler for missing the team flight to Milwaukee. Butler in a contract dispute with the Heat. Doc Rivers asked if he was surprised about the situation.
No, I don't know if I'm surprised or not. I just hope they find their way through it. I've been through these things before. You know, I was in Philly with Ben Simmons and all that. It's no fun for anyone.
NFL, 2 players from Wisconsin, among those to be named NFL Defensive Player of the Year, the Steelers' T.J. Watt from Pewaukee and Eagles linebacker Zach Bond from Brown Deer.
That's really cool, really special. Honestly, not even on the spectrum of a goal of mine. I really just try to be the best player I can be and try to maximize my potential and my ability. It's a lot of credit to the guys up front and the guys on this team for aiding in my success.
That's Zach Bond. The Eagles host the Commanders Sunday at 2 for the NFC title. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
I'm Lisa Hale with WGBW News. Your news roundup in quick podcast form. You can find it anywhere at the WGBW website, wgbw.fm.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly cloudy, a few flurries tonight and lows in the mid-teens. A mix of sun and clouds and blustery tomorrow, highs in the low 30s. Mid-20s and mostly sunny Sunday. A January thaw into next week, highs climbing well into the 30s. Currently, we're at 15.
Ever tried balancing a dozen eggs in one hand while hopping on one foot? Or maybe juggling cats while riding the unicycle? Sounds ridiculous, right? But guess what? That's exactly what texting while driving is like. Your human brain only has the capacity to focus on one thing at a time. So when you're behind the wheel, give driving your undivided attention.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The Maggie Dawn Show.
Seems everywhere in the state, housing has just gotten so expensive. Our current president ran on promises to help the middle class, and I'd like to know what he's going to do about the housing shortages. I went through the executive orders. I read through the speech transcript a couple of times. Nothing he really said or did in the first couple days has anything to do with helping the middle class.
The Maggie Dawn Show. Weekdays from 2 till 4 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app. Earl Ingram.
The dismantling of diversity, equity, and inclusion under Donald Trump has already begun. On the next show, we'll talk with Dr. Eva Martinez-Paulus about
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Nite Lite with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who once tore his ACL playing chess, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back. Great to have you with me as we start hour number 2 of this Friday night edition of Nite Lite. It is a bar band Friday night, so Terry Barr will be here at the bottom of the hour with great new music and some really fun conversation as always. But right now, I'm very excited to welcome a friend of mine to the show. He is a very funny stand-up comedian, and he is one of the stars of many films, including the TV show Loudermilk, Kingpin, Three Stooges. He joins us now on the phone, and he is in Wisconsin. Jackie Flynn. Jack, how are you?
Hey, Pete. How you doing, buddy?
Are you staying warm?
Yes, I went out to get a sandwich and I almost lost a toe. But other than that, I can't get over how cold it is, man. You know, I grew up in Boston, but man, I've been in LA for so long. This was like 19 degrees out, but it's cold.
Yeah, and you're in southern Wisconsin too, so it's probably even a little colder up where we are. So, but hey, it's great to have you in the state, man. I hate that I'm this close to you and won't see you while you're here, but it's good to have you.
Thanks, buddy. It's good to be here. It reminded me of being in Boston. Like, I used to hate the winter, but the best part about the winter in Boston was when you left the nightclub, the beers in your car were still cold. So that was always good, you know?
Right.
You got to find the positive, you know?
Exactly. Hey, so you're in Kenosha. Tell us a little bit. Have you seen the club yet? I know you have shows tonight, and if you hurry over, folks, you can see Jackie tonight and tomorrow night. It's called the Kenosha Comedy Club, right?
Yes, and it's right in Kenosha in the Wyndham Garden Hotel right by the harbor here. And show at 8 o'clock tonight and 8 o'clock Saturday night. And, come on over. Should be fun.
Oh, that's fantastic. How do people get tickets, Jack, if they want to mosey over through the cold?
I think they can go to, just Google Kenosha Comedy Club. I just did and just saw there's a website, but I think you can come over and buy tickets at the door too.
Okay, that's great. If you are listening, I recommend you check out Jackie. He's really funny. His jokes. You're part of that great Boston comedy legacy, Jack. Wouldn't you say? Like, I think the comics, and I started in Chicago, great comics there too, but what city, probably more so than Boston, if any, do you identify with great comics?
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm biased because I'm from Boston, but I think some of the best comics of all time come out of Boston, and I was fortunate to start there and be and learn from some of the great comedy guys of our time, and just one after another. I mean, my class of comics, if you can call it that, like when I started in Boston in open mics in like '87, was myself, David Cross, Louis C.K., Nick DiPaolo, Mark Maron, Janine Garofalo, and that was just then. And then like literally a year behind me was Joe Rogan, and then a couple of years behind him was Bill Burr, and both those guys used to literally I put them on stage when they were young, whippersnappers, It's just crazy.
I saw Louis C.K. recently. I don't know if you're friends with him, but I know he had some issues, but man, is he funny. He seems to be back, and he's actually found a way to make his issues, funny and remain humble at the same time and admit that he messed up,
Yeah. I mean, Louis, I've known Louis for forever. I haven't seen him in a long time, but we ran into each other not too long ago. Matter of fact, when he saw me, he goes, "Oh, I always think of that joke of yours," and he quoted some joke of mine, and I forgot about 100 years ago. But it's funny how certain things stick in people's minds. But he's done, he's done quite well. All these guys, and I'm very proud to be from that, that town, as far as comedy wise.
You've done pretty well for yourself too, my friend. And I love that you still, you're in movies, you're on TV, but you still love doing clubs. Will you always have that connection, Jack, to comedy clubs and just doing stand-up? Will that always be in your blood, no matter how much acting work you get?
Oh yeah. Because there's nothing like comedy. I mean, movies, you shoot the movie, it's very fun and gratifying, but you do it, and then all of a sudden they go and they edit it and they this and that, and about a year later you see it, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, that movie, yeah. That was fun. And, but comedy is like instant gratification and instant feedback. You get kind of what you give, with the comedy, you're on stage and right instantly, if it's funny. And there's nothing like live performing and nothing like trying out new material and getting a laugh with it,
Absolutely. Well, who did you watch growing up, Jack? Who were your influences like when you were a kid sitting in your living room?
Yeah, when I was a kid, my dad would watch, the Tonight Show, obviously, and I'm old enough to remember him watching, the Ed Sullivan Show, and the Jackie Gleason Show and all these shows, and they had always had comics on, and I can remember to this day this comic. I think it might have been like Shecky Green. I'm not 100% sure, but it was in that vein of the comics, and he told a joke, and I remember it was just like a street joke, but me and my dad just howled, and I remember my dad was a funny guy, and I just then I started listening to comedy albums. Obviously I was influenced by George Carlin, Richard Pryor, and those guys, but even Bob Newhart maybe, and then Cheech and Chong albums. When I was a kid, I used to memorize those, which was a different type of comedy almost. Obviously that was more of a performance art almost. But so all those things were very influential. My dad's favorite comic, because my dad's Italian American and Irish, but it was Italian American comic Pat Cooper, who was a legend and just the funniest guy ever. And remarkably enough, of course, after my dad passed, I got to open for Pat Cooper and hang out and have dinner with him. And my dad would my dad wouldn't have believed it, But everything it works out that way sometimes.
That's so great. I don't know if it's like my dad too. That was a way I kind of bonded with him. I would find myself laughing at the things he laughed. He loved Jackie Gleason. We were Irish Catholics, just like you guys. And there's something about growing up. And then when you get older and when you finally have your dad laugh at what you're saying, that's pretty gratifying. Did your dad think you were funny?
Yeah, he did. He didn't get to see me do too much. He passed away. Maybe I was doing comedy about 2 years or so when he passed, but he got to see me. I was pretty decent at the time, and I wasn't anywhere where I am now, but as a comic, but I was good enough. And he saw, and he embraced it. He didn't like it at first. He thought I was just, it was like me, like I had my attention span of a fruit fly, I'm doing comedy now. Now I'm a drummer, and now, but then when he saw that I was committed to it, he kind of gave me his blessing,
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So what's going on with Loudermilk? You're on this great show with a great cast. Ron Livingston. I know your buddy Brian Regan is in the show. Will that show come back for another season?
Yeah, it seems to be coming back. It's let's put it this way. I'd say it's 99% sure we're coming back. According to the director, Peter Farrelly, he said that there's this some big producers that are really in love with the show, and they're doing everything they can. They say we're gonna raise money and start producing more seasons of this and that. And even if they don't, Pete says we're going to come back because somebody wants to do it. It's too big of a show. As far as too many people love it, and it's if you see all the people talking about it on online, even like it's one of Netflix's biggest hits for what it was, and hopefully it'll come back. It's a great show, and we have so much fun doing it. Like you said, with Brian Regan, myself, and a bunch of other knuckleheads.
It's such a great show because I remember when you told me it was on first, it was on like the AT&T network or something that I never even heard of. And then all of a sudden it's on Netflix and people find it. It's really too funny of a show not for people to find. So if you haven't seen Loudermilk yet, it is hilarious. I really hope you guys get another season.
Hopefully they're going to do multiple seasons. So that'll be great.
Yeah, for sure. Jack, you've been in some great movies. You've been in a lot of the Farrelly Brother movies. You were in, Kingpin, Three Stooges, Ricky Stenicki. What's the most fun you've had on a movie set, and what are those sets like working with those guys?
It's great, man. They're very, there's just so many. Well, first of all, the Loudermilk cast is great, and Ron Livingston is so gracious, and everyone's so giving as an actor. There's zero ego, But the movies. The movies are different. I worked with some guys like, Jim Carrey and Bill Murray and those type of guys. And it's really kind of, at first you're a little bit in awe because those are the guys you grew up watching,
Yeah. What has been your favorite role in those films? And how cool was it that you were in a remake of the Three Stooges? Talk about another show we watched growing up.
Oh yeah.
And you got to be in that too.
Matter of fact, that was crazy because I actually auditioned for the part of Mo, and I almost got it. And as a matter of fact, the guy that got Mo beat me out, and it came down. I was pretty close, and but the guy was really good. I mean, he had done it for years, being Mo in at conventions and stuff, so he had a big head start. It would have been criminal for him not to play Mo. He was, he was that good. But it was really tough for me because that would have been a dream. And but at any rate, but then because I didn't get the part of Mo, the part I did get, I asked Peter Farrelly, the director, I said, as a consolation, would you at least let me get doinked in the eyes by Mo? And I did. I got poked in the eyes, so that was kind of fun.
Jackie Flynn is my guest. You can catch him this weekend at the Kenosha Comedy Club. He's down in Southeast Wisconsin, down on the lake there. Jack, what are you watching on TV? Is there anything you could recommend? Like when you're not as busy as you are, what do you kick back and check out or binge watch?
I'm trying to think of what I've watched recently. I obviously like all the regular stuff. I mean, I'm a huge fan of obviously like shows like Breaking Bad and all those shows that everybody loves. And but there's a lot of shows I haven't seen. But I heard that Severance is coming back. I'm looking forward to checking that out. The next season of that. And there's also I've been watching some documentaries. I just saw that documentary Will Ferrell did called Will and Harper. It was really unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean,
I hear it's great.
Yeah, it was really, really moving. And I just watched the Superman documentary that about Christopher Reeves thing. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that stuff like that, I don't really. Sometimes it's hard for me to get into a show because then I'm on the road and stuff. But when I do, I try to I did Succession for a while. But then again, sometimes it takes so long. And that's why I'm a little bummed that Loud Milk is taking so long because you kind of forget where the hell you were in the show, and then you got to watch it like Ozark and stuff, for instance. You comes back a year later, you're like, what the hell happened last year? I don't even remember. My brain is horrible with that.
I know it's like you got to watch the whole previous season just to catch up. Jack, it's great to talk to you, buddy. It's great to have you in Wisconsin, even though I can't see you this time. But next time, let me know. We'll definitely hang and. We got to get you up a little further north, maybe up here in Titletown to do some comedy. We could do that and have great shows this weekend, buddy.
I would love that, man. And thanks for getting me on. And I hope to see some people at the show tonight or tomorrow night.
We'll keep pushing it, man. Knock them dead.
Thanks, Pete. Be well.
You got it. Thanks, Jack. All right, that's Jackie Flynn. Check him out at the Kenosha Comedy Club. Boy, I've heard more and more good stuff about that room, Conrad. I think we had Dwayne Kennedy on before he worked it.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe... can't remember, maybe Brian Hicks. I don't know. It's supposed to be a really nice room though, and so we'll keep an eye on that as well. So coming up in just a few minutes, folks, it is a bar band Friday night. Terry Barr is here. I've already heard the music she's bringing. It's fantastic. We'll be back in just a couple minutes to do some more fun stuff, right, Con? Do we have fun stuff planned?
Oh, definitely.
We do, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's a heck of a tease. All right, it's Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite on the Civic Media Radio Network.
So you can see what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, yeah, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on.
From De Pere to Swamico, 97.9 WGBW.
Appleton Cigar Company on College Avenue has been serving the community for over 25 years. If you are a cigar aficionado looking for a one-of-a-kind experience, you need to check out Appleton Cigar, which boasts the largest selection of cigars north of Milwaukee with over 706 cigars to choose from in a walk-in humidor. The Cigar Lounge offers an impressive variety of spirits and cocktails that pair perfectly with a premium cigar. For the full experience, come to Appleton Cigar at 415 College Ave, Monday through Saturday, 11:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. For more information, go to appletoncigar.com.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate. On Monday, January 20th, Donald Trump returned to office, sworn in as the 47th President of the United States. Right out of the gate, he took a number of actions on his top issue, immigration. Perhaps the most troubling of these is one aiming to end birthright citizenship in America. An immigration attorney I talked to told me, "We're going to sit through a lot of BS over the course of the next weeks, months, and years, but this is the big one." My take? This action from the Trump administration is despicable, unconstitutional, and fundamentally anti-American. The day after the order was issued, Governor Tony Evers and Attorney General Josh Kaul joined a coalition of 20 states challenging this action in court. This legal battle will be a tremendously important one for all of us to follow.
Find all of Dan's work at the Recombobulation area and on our website at civicmedia.us.
It's your new Wisco 411, and I'm Amanda suggesting that you get your tickets for Doctors in Recital starting at 7 p.m. at the Widener in Green Bay. Local physicians and healthcare professionals are putting the stethoscopes down and picking some instruments up, along with area musicians to perform a variety of genres from classical to jazz and rock to country. All proceeds from the event will go to area nonprofits like Foster the Village. So what are you waiting for? Learn more.
Well, our question tonight, ladies and gentlemen, have you ever Herkel-Durkled? And for how long? What's the latest you've stayed in bed? That's what Herkel-Durkling is. It's a Scottish custom. It's been around for a couple centuries. They call laying in bed past the expected time you would get out of bed Herkel-Durkling. Some people might think it's just laziness, depression, whatever. The Scottish people call it Herkel-Durkling. So what's the latest you stayed in bed, and what is acceptable in your opinion? You can text us at 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC, and we will read your text on the radio. There are no wrong answers. There are only your answers, and we'd love to get them. So about a week ago, Conrad, I was playing Wii Golf. I told you I'm back into Wii Golf, right? Dynamite game.
Yeah.
You know, I have our house is like, I kind of look out. We've got a lot of windows, and I'm looking out at snow. But in my living room, I got the fire going, and I got Wii Golf up, and I hear a gentle breeze and sunshiny courses. It's just beautiful. And my Wii me actually looks like me. I posted it on Facebook about a week ago when I blew a double eagle, and I was getting close to my record. So earlier today, another double eagle on a par 5. I'm on the 5th hole. I own that hole. And those of you who've played the Wii Golf course might be able to relate to it. It's kind of a tough hole. You can either go around the bend or you can shoot up onto a mountain, and there's a little patch of fairway up there, and then try to make it to the green in 2. Wow. I double eagled it. Again, second time in a week. And I was close to my record. I fell apart in the last 2 holes, just like you do in real golf.
Yeah.
It's so disconcerting.
You know, actually, it's not called a double eagle. It's called an albatross.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
See, Wii calls it a double eagle. That's kind of an issue. They did not do their homework. That's faulty engineering.
Yeah. If someone does it in the PGA, it's an albatross.
Okay. Because you're right. Double eagle doesn't really make sense because an eagle is your 2 under par. A double eagle would be 4 under par. And that's not happening. That's a hole in one on a 500-yard hole.
That's just, yeah. Well, I mean, if you could do it.
I guess.
Got to
Maybe
bring
you're
out the big driver.
John Daly or something. But it is so relaxing. I'm telling you, it is helping me get through winter because I get a little summer escape. And I started when the kids were home right before Christmas. I've been playing for like a month now. And my record is 11 under. And you have to play close to a perfect game to get that. But I do fall apart just like I used to in real golf when I cared about golf. Hey, earlier in the week was the anniversary of the film Casablanca being released. And this is, I wouldn't say Casablanca is one of my all-time favorite, like top 5, top 10. I saw a little bit of it when I was in my 20s, probably saw the whole thing over time, bits and pieces on Turner Classic Movies, stuff like that. But I gave it a watch about 2 years ago, watched the whole thing, and it's just a masterpiece. And it took watching it like that for me to recognize the genius that is Humphrey Bogart and why his character works so well in that film. So we have a clip. You'll recognize some of the dialogue. It's a famous clip, but this is from Casablanca in honor of its anniversary this week.
If you don't mind, you fill in the names. That'll make it even more official.
You think of everything, don't you?
And the names are Mr. and Mrs. Victor Laszlo.
But why my name, Richard?
Because you're getting on that plane.
I don't understand. What about you?
I'm staying here with him till the plane gets safely away.
No, Richard, no. What has happened to you last night?
Last night we said a great many things. You said I was to do the thinking for both of us. Well, I've done a lot of it since then. It all adds up to one thing. You're getting on that plane with Victor where you belong.
But, Richard, no,
Now, you've got to listen to me. You have any idea what you'd have to look forward to if you stayed here? 9 chances out of 10, we'd both wind up at a concentration camp. Isn't that true, Louis?
I'm afraid Major Strasser would insist.
You're saying this only to make me go.
I'm saying it because it's true. Inside of us, we both know you belong with Victor. You're part of his work, the thing that keeps him going. If that plane leaves the ground and you're not with him, you'll regret it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon and for the rest of your life.
But what about us?
We'll always have Paris. We didn't have, we lost it until you came to Casablanca. We got it back last night.
When I said I would never leave you.
And you never will. But I've got a job to do, too. Where I'm going, you can't follow. What I've got to do, you can't be any part of. Ilse, I'm no good at being noble, but it doesn't take much to see that the problems of 3 little people don't amount to a hill of beans in this crazy world. Someday you'll understand that. Now. He's looking at you, kid.
That is Humphrey Bogart in Casablanca. And it's just such a great Such a great film. If you haven't checked out Casablanca, definitely do it. Ingrid Bergman is also in the film, and a great character, Peter Lorre, great surrounding characters. Dooley Wilson plays the piano player at Rick's American Cafe and sings as time goes by. And it's just great. Rick's American Cafe is like a character in the film. There's all kinds of activity going on there. There's spies coming in, people just chilling out, hanging out. Humphrey Bogart making the rounds. When I saw the whole film in its entirety finally 2 years ago, I just wanted to go hang out. I wanted to live at Rick's American Cafe. So I highly recommend Casablanca if you haven't seen it yet. Most of you probably have, or a good part of you, but it's really, really well done film. And it came out in 1942 and had its anniversary this week. We got a text from Tom in New Berlin. Conrad, help me. What is Tom trying to say? ALB.
ALB.
Sorry, Tom. I need some more clarification on that. Tom's one of our best and most frequent texters, but this
Maybe
almost looks like it's
trying to
written in
say
code.
albatross, you know?
Maybe. That's what he calls it. He wouldn't say, if you're like a real staunch golfer, like I'm guessing Tom might be, I bet that's what it is. Because it's not a double eagle. We messed up. I love you, we. But change that to 2009 technology and put
It's a
albatross.
little outdated, maybe.
They're not doing that. I'll be. All right. Thank you very much, Tom, for clarification. And thank you, Conrad, for helping me remember what I was talking about 3 minutes ago. It is a Bar Band Friday night, ladies and gentlemen, which means Terry Barr is on her way. The host of Max Inc. Radio is here with two great new artists and great new songs that we will get to know after Civic Media's news team keeps you informed. This is Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite. Great to have you with me on the Civic Media Radio Network.
The talk of Green Bay, WGBW. Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Oshkosh residents will see a $3 to $5 increase in their sewer and water bills starting this month. The Oshkosh Common Council approved the rate increases back in December. The increases will fund improvements to manage water quality, wastewater plants, and reduce the likelihood of flooding. The increases will be seen in the January bills. According to the 2023 Forward exam, 58% of 3rd through 8th graders in Wisconsin are not proficient in English language arts. The state's reading curriculum was overhauled and approved with bipartisan support, but lawmakers haven't released the funds for it. Savannah Tomei Olson reports on Governor Tony Evers' plea to lawmakers to get things moving.
In 2023, lawmakers passed a bill to overhaul how the state teaches reading in public schools. The new system is commonly referred to as the science of reading. It's backed by research and focuses more on phonics. It includes new curriculum and materials and hiring literacy coaches for school districts to use when they need to. Schools started this shift for students in 4K through 3rd grade in the fall, but they're doing it without the money they were expecting from the legislature. When it was passed, Act 20 included $50 million to switch to this new method, but lawmakers on the Joint Finance Committee have not released that money.
Our kids and their future are too important for politics. Republicans, please release these investments so that we can get to work improving reading outcomes statewide.
Now, it's complicated, but the Evers administration and the Joint Finance Committee have been fighting out the issue in court. If the $50 million for the new reading materials isn't released by June 30th, it'll go into the state surplus. I'm Savannah Tomei Olson.
I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. We are hitting the height of award season buzz. The granddaddy of them all, the Academy Awards, are right around the corner, and the nominations are officially out. Let's start off in the category everyone is on pins and needles about, Best Sound. Just kidding. There's pretty much something for everyone, as 10 films from several genres have been recognized in the Best Picture category. Leading the nominations this year is the foreign film Emilia Perez with 13 nominations. The musical tells the story of a drug kingpin struggling with gender-affirming issues. Close behind Emilia were The Brutalist and Wicked with 10 nominations apiece. Conclave and A Complete Unknown also made an impressive showing with 8 noms each. Rounding out the nominees in the Best Picture category were independent films Nickel Boys, Honora, The Substance, I'm Still Here, and the blockbuster Dune 2. There is your list of movies to check out before March 2. You have 6 weeks. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nite Lite with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Mostly cloudy, a few flurries tonight and lows in the mid-teens. A mix of sun and clouds and blustery tomorrow, highs in the low 30s. Mid-20s and mostly sunny Sunday. A January thaw into next week, highs climbing well into the 30s. Currently, we're at 15.
The Todd Alba Show.
What's worse, fast drivers or slow drivers? Karina listening on WAUK in Milwaukee.
Slow drivers are the worst. They think too slow. They stop in the middle of the highway to think about where they're going. Maybe they need to turn left and right. They changing lines for, oh my God, I can do all day long.
Karina, can you tell us what you really think?
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. Mino and the Mayor.
Landon Jones, his commercial is a semifinalist for Doritos and could air during the Super Bowl.
I was sitting on the couch, I was eating some Doritos, I just had one in my hand, I was looking at it. Well, what if my hand got bigger? And then I was like, okay, well, what would happen if I ate it? Okay, the head would get bigger. And then, I kind of went down the rabbit hole.
I wonder if it would work there.
Mino and the Mayor, weekday morning 6 till 9 on WGBW and WISS and the Civic Media app.
Since the guys couldn't stick around to do their own promo, Todd and I will do it for you, because on Monday, Anders Lindwall, the director of the Green and
Time to check out original music with Bar Band Friday on Nite Lite. Now, your host, Pete Schwaba, and special guest, Terry Barr.
It is a Bar Band Friday night. This is how we go into the weekend every week, folks, and we are so fortunate. It is so much fun to learn about new music on the last quadrant of our show on the last day of the week, and helping us do that every week is Max Inc. radio host, Terry Barr. Terry, how are you?
Hello! I'm great. How are you guys?
Doing very well, thank you. I have one question for you before we start. Have you ever Herkle-Durkled?
What?
That is the appropriate response. Herkle-Durkling is a Scottish custom that is it basically is another word for the art of lazing in bed. So it's just being lazy or depressed.
Oh. Ooh, there's a difference though between lazy and depressed, isn't there?
There is, but I think it's just the idea that you lay in bed and that they gave it such a clinical term of Herkle-Durkle, which is what intrigues me. I think it's really strange. It sounds like another term for wrestling or something. I don't know, but I don't know.
Can you imagine the move if it were pro wrestling? Herkle-Durkle.
He's got him in the Herkle-Durkle, Phil. Hey, it's great to have you here as always, my friend. We're just so excited. You've got, hey, I think I'm going to be on Max Inc. Jimmy reached out to me to do a quick segment. I know you guys are trying to fill some time until Rocker comes back.
Oh, you are not a time filler. You are a guest we've been talking about for a while.
Well, that's very nice. Thank you. I'm happy to return the favor because we have so much fun when you come on this show. So okay, we got two great guests again. Should we start with Paul Filipowicz?
Filipowicz, very good.
Oh, look at me.
Oh my gosh. This guy is amazing. I think you and I talked about him quite a while ago. We were early into doing this. He blows me away. He taught himself guitar when he was a kid. His sisters played piano, and he would sing along while his sisters played piano, and they would all be like, "Paul, stop." So they wanted him to find his own instrument, and he found the blues on the radio. And that's when he decided, "I'm gonna listen to the radio and figure out how to play guitar." And that's how he did it. And once he found the blues, learned to play guitar, he said, "My future was in stone." And so 50 years later, he is still playing shows out and about. He travels the country. He is based in southern Wisconsin, but I mean, he travels the country every single year. He's got, I think it's 10 albums now he supports. And the big one was
Wow.
last year. He was finally inducted into what he would call his home Blues Hall of Fame, which is the Wisconsin Blues Hall of Fame.
Oh, no kidding. So does he live in Wisconsin now, Terry? I was doing some research on him. I know he was born in Chicago, and he's no spring chicken. He's been around for quite a while.
Oh,
It's kind of cool that he found Wisconsin, like another person I know, myself, and makes it his home.
Yeah, he lives in Aztalan, which is right around. I had to write it down because I was wondering myself. You drive by it if you're going from Madison to Milwaukee. Little tiny town. He has a farm. He works on cars. He's a carpenter. And of course, it's one of those where you see him, his hands look like he works. And you always
Yeah.
think, "Oh no, take care of those hands because you do play guitar." But Aztalan is near Lake Mills on the way to
Okay.
Milwaukee, between Madison and Milwaukee.
So is he a guest on your show soon, or does he have live dates around the area that we can look forward to?
Very, very much both. He
Okay.
plays constantly. He took a little time off during the holidays. He's back at it again. He's writing some new music. He's got shows coming up around Wisconsin starting off tonight. And
Oh,
then he's got
fantastic.
some more sticking in Wisconsin. But when the weather starts to get a little nicer and he feels like, okay, I can safely drive to Tennessee or Texas or wherever I want to go do some shows, then he heads out for different parts of the spring and summer, I should say.
Nice.
One of my favorite things about him, though, Pete, he dresses like a blues man, and
Yeah.
he has won awards based on his dress alone. The three-piece suit, the cool hat that you think of when you think of the blues musicians. And he kind of describes it as, you can't go to church without your Bible.
That's great. I'm looking
Yeah.
at his website right now, Terry, and it said, I love this line he's got on his website. And I can see what you're talking about with what he wears. And Filipowicz is not a typical blues name, if I could just put that out there. But I love that,
It's true. Yeah.
that he found this music. And it says, one night while cruising the dial, Filipowicz pulled in a radio station out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. They played Wolf, Sonny Boy, and Muddy Waters back to back. That was his first exposure to the blues, like you just said. Such a great story. That's so cool.
Yeah. And we're lucky we claim him as our own in Wisconsin.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, should we hear? Why don't we hear? His song is a little on the longer side, so should we lead off with that one first, Terry?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I love the name of this song too. It's called "Brand New Hat." That's so blues, right?
Yeah.
All right, Terry Barr is my guest. It's a Bar Band Friday night. We have so much fun, and she has brought us two new great artists. Well, they're not new; they're new to us. Great artists tonight. And the first is Paul Filipowicz. Here is his song, Brand New Hat.
Gonna find me a boxcar, baby, yeah. Right on out of town. raggy lady, baby, yeah. Going back this and that now. Well, all right. Well, you raggy lady, baby, yeah. Ow, ow, ow. Going back this and that now, yeah. Well, you look at me, lady, baby, now, now, now. Tighter than a brand new hair now. Yeah. When I get back from Chicago, baby. Gonna be some changes made. Yes, it will now. When I get back from Chicago, baby, yeah. There's gonna be some changes made, yeah. When I get back from Chicago, baby, yeah. All my clothes will be tailor-made. When I get back from Chicago, baby. Gonna be some changes made now. Look at here, baby. Get back from Chicago, baby, yeah. See some changes made now. When I get back from Chicago, baby. All my clothes will be tailor-made. Tailor-made now. Tailor-made, yeah. Tailor-made now. Oh, tailor-made. Brand new hat, baby.
Man, that was great. That is such a.
If people could see us, we're dancing on YouTube, basically.
Well, what are we supposed to do, right? I mean, you gotta feel it. I mean, that was great. I'm stomping my foot on the carpet tiles I've got in the room. It's
Oh,
just
that's so
fantastic.
good.
Yeah, that was
I
a
want to
fun
tell you
song.
this quote or kind of a review of Paul's music. And this comes from one of the originators of the Madison Area Music Association Awards. He wrote that Paul has more heart, soul, and guts poured into one of his guitar solos than most players ever have in their entire career.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty high praise. That's fantastic. The song was called Brand New Hat.
Yeah.
I just Googled Paul Filipowicz, and I definitely recommend people check it out. When can they see or hear him on Max Inc., Terry?
Tomorrow night at
Tomorrow night.
8:30, he is our featured artist at 8:30 all across the Civic Media Radio Network, Max Inc. Radio. 8:30 is our new show Saturday, and then it's a replay on Sunday. So if you miss it one night, you can catch it the next.
You absolutely have to check it out. Just great, and the award-winning Max Inc. Radio, I should say. So that's another reason for people should check it out. So before we go to the break, Terry, tell us a little bit about. I love the name of this band, Them Cooley Boys. I'm saying it right, correct? Cooley.
Absolutely.
All right.
Do
Them
you know
Cooley
what
Boys.
could be behind the name?
No, I was kind of looking them up. I know they workshopped with the Abbott brothers, and that inspired them. And you go to their website; they just look so fun. These guys look like a blast.
Yeah. Yes.
But please tell us.
Well, okay, where they are originating out of is Eau Claire, and that area was huge way back when it came to all of the ice that came through that area, and it carved the hills and the rivers, and they call it a coulee. So that's the name, Them Coulee Boys.
My best friend growing up on the northwest side of Chicago used to call his coulee. I think it was an Italian thing. It was your rump. It was your butt. It was your coulee. So
no,
I think it's spelled differently. But we have to do a quick break, and then we will hear Them Coulee Boys. They have a new album coming out too. I think we could talk a little bit about that too.
Yes.
And we'll see when they'll be on Max Inc. or when Terry can tell us where we can see more of Them Coulee Boys. Love that name. We will be right back, and I will finish up reading your text too. This is Pete Schwaba and Nite Lite. Terry Barr is here on a Bar Band Friday night. We'll be right back on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Bring a friend, join the crowd. Whoever wanna come along. Word up, talk, just move right up the wall. Day or night, sky's the line, so we dance to the breakdown. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the medicine, so you should keep your eyes on the ball. This is getting heavy. Can you hear the bass? Boom, I'm ready. Levies, citizens, honey. Yeah, this beat to ching like money. And this go overload. I'm in today, I'm good to go. I'm down, you know I'm good.
Bay Settlement, 97.9 WGBW.
Hey, it's me time at Chula Vista. Time for you to pamper yourself. Wisconsin's most complete resort experience has everything you want. Fine-tuned for 70 years by 4 generations of the Kaminsky family, Chula Vista can be easygoing with colorful scenic river walks, 18 holes of classic golf, a relaxing spa, or you can go all out in 80,000 square feet of indoor water park. Ziplining through canyon views in Chula's Aerial Adventure Park. And dining comes any way you like it, from pizza to Wisconsin's #1 ranked steakhouse. More than 600 guest rooms to choose from, with $10 million in updates. Chula Vista, everything you've been wanting, all right here on site. Check it out at chulavistaresort.com.
USA Today's Reader's Choice Awards named Chula Vista one of America's top 10 indoor water parks. Find out why at chulavistaresort.com.
Let's get back to live music in the Lair with Kaylin Cole. The next song you have for us tonight is called 1103.
Yes.
Is that a time or a flight number?
Oh, that's actually really good. That's a good idea. I think I might have to write another song with that. You'll get 50%.
It's live in the Lair. Grab the podcast now at maxincradio.com and listen live on Saturday nights, 6 to midnight across the Civic Media Radio Network.
Carter's Collision in Kewanee reminds you that our blood banks depend on regular blood donors. We're asking you to roll up your sleeves and give the gift of life. Give blood today. Everyone who donates blood saves lives. It's true, not all heroes wear capes. This message is proudly brought to you by Carter's Collision in Kewanee. If you donate blood today, you could help save a life tomorrow. Remember, you're
Tom from New Berlin says, to clarify his text from earlier where we didn't know exactly what he was saying, Tom says, I'm a graduate of Trump University. Oh, you're the guy. I didn't think there were any graduates from Trump University. I didn't think it was around that long. Thank you, Tom. Always great to get your text. Bridget from the 818 says, I used to lay in bed in the morning and read when I was younger. Now I like to go to bed early and lay in bed and read and get up right away in the morning. I need to take advantage of my morning energy. That makes sense. Terry's nodding too. It's not just me. We got a voucher. Steady Eddie says, he's in the 608. He says, Pete, winter is so dark and cold, but under the covers with a heating pad, it's so cozy and warm. Perfect weather to Herkel. Eddie says, perfect weather to Herkel Jerkel. It's Herkel Durkel. Eddie, I don't know if that's a Freudian slip or what. He says, He says, since I'm retired, it's easier for me to Herkel Jerkel without severe consequences like losing my job. You got to be careful when you do that kind of thing, Eddie. He says, I watch a lot of YouTube while I Herkel Jerkel, and I'm learning a lot of astronomy, history, politics, guitar lessons, and I'm even thinking about attempting to learn Spanish.
Woo!
Where is that? Spanish and calculus. Oh, why waste your time? Come on, Steady Eddie. Wow. I love the cute baby and pet videos too. Steady double bogey Eddie. P.S. Pete Conrad. Sometime I'll call in and do my Humphrey Bogart. Here's looking at you, kids. Awesome text as usual. We expect nothing less, Eddie. Thank you so much. And it's Herkel Durkel. Don't get us in trouble. Jeez, making us look bad in front of our guest here.
Oh my gosh, that was hilarious.
That's Steady Eddie. He's great. All right. So Terry, tell us about them Cooley Boys. We got a little bit. We heard the Eau Claire angle. They have a new album coming out.
Yes.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we play the song and then we'll come back and kind of put a button on the whole thing, talking about them Cooley Boys. Here's them Cooley Boys with Up Close.
On the count of three, you know I love the way you look up close. Heard you were in
That song earlier, when you sent that, I opened my email. I played it. I was walking in my car, and it came on the speakers of my car, and then I replayed it again right away. That's a great song. It's called Up Close, and we got a comment on the stream, Terry, from PJ, who says, them Cooley Boys are playing a show at the Appleton Beer Factory Friday, September 7th. You don't want to miss them playing. I've seen them play. That's a great comment.
Excellent comment.
February
They
7th, 2 weeks
are
from
actually
tonight.
playing
Yeah.
in Wausau tonight to start kicking off the I guess I'll say pre-album release.
Yeah.
The album comes out at the end of February, but they are kicking it off playing maybe, one or two songs from the album as sort of a tease. But between now and June, at least, they are in Wausau, Marquette, Duluth. They are also in Appleton in March, and then La Crosse, Illinois, Indiana. They kind of cruise the whole thing. They end up
Love
back
it.
in June at the Blue Ox Music Festival in Eau Claire.
That is fantastic. Terry, thank you so much. As always,
Thank
Bar
you.
Band Friday,
Thank
my
you.
favorite time of week. It's so great. Have a great night and have a great show tomorrow night. Tune in for
Thank
Max Inc.
you.
Radio,
We
everybody.
will. We will.
All right. We'll see you next week. Thanks, Terry.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. On Monday, Chip Chinnery and Nathan Deming join me. We had a great time tonight. Let's wrap it up. On behalf of the lovable producer, Conrad, this is Pete Schwaba saying good night, Wisconsin.